The call came at 3:07 in the morning. My phone buzzed once. No name, just a number I hadn't seen in years but could never forget. It was etched into my memory like a scar. My father's voice came through before I could even say hello. "Are you home?" I rubbed my eyes, still halfway between sleep and confusion. "Yeah. Why? What's going on?" "Lock every door," he said. His tone wasn't panicked, but sharp, deliberate, like a man dismantling a bomb. "Turn off all the lights. Take your son to the guest room. Now!" I sat up, my pulse waking up faster than the rest of me. "You're scaring me, Dad." "Do it. And don't tell your wife anything." Then silence. Not the kind that ends, but the kind that lingers, waiting for something to happen. I moved on instinct, locked the doors, switched off the lights, carried my half-asleep son to the guest room. His small hand clutched mine, trembling, confused, not frightened. Through the dark glass of the window, I saw only my reflection. Bare chest, quick breaths, a man suddenly unsure of his own home. That's when I saw her, my wife, standing in the hallway, completely still. She didn't ask what was happening, didn't even move, just stared, eyes calm, almost as if she already knew. Something inside me shifted right then. Not a sound, not a break, just a quiet fracture of certainty. My father hadn't called out of fear. He had called because he knew. The next morning, she smiled faintly over breakfast. "You were talking to your father again, weren't you?" she asked. The way she said it, casual, almost teasing, felt rehearsed. It had been 8 months since my father retired from the agency. He once told me that paranoia keeps you alive longer than love ever will. His words wouldn't stop replaying in my head. Lately, my wife had changed. Late-night drives, whisper calls behind closed doors, a new password on her phone. It wasn't cheating I was afraid of. It was something else, something darker. The CIA doesn't let people retire. It buries them in new identities and sealed files. If my father told me to hide from my wife, then there was something about her that I was never meant to find out. I tried to dismiss it, until I remembered the way she looked at me that night. Calm, expectant, like she'd been waiting for that call. 2. I started digging quietly. Checked her phone when she showered. Found unfamiliar numbers. Calls to Washington that never showed up on the bill. I sent one to a contact of my father's, an old analyst named Reeves. 3 days later, he texted back, "That number belongs to an encrypted agency line. Be careful who you trust." After that, nothing felt real anymore. Every conversation sounded scripted, every touch rehearsed. I'd lie awake beside her, wondering if the warmth against my skin was love or strategy. Then I found a photograph in her nightstand, a training facility. My father was there, and so was she, younger, in uniform, smiling like someone who already knew how this story would end. I didn't confront her. I watched her instead, learned her moves, every gesture, every silence. My father hadn't raised a spy, but he had raised someone who knew how to survive one. Weeks passed before an unmarked envelope arrived. No sender. My father's handwriting. Inside was a classified personnel file. Her name wasn't Emma. She'd been recruited out of Prague, embedded in surveillance, assigned to monitor 2 assets, my father and me. She'd married her target son to stay close. That night, when she came home humming softly, I watched her unpack groceries like everything was normal. "Can I ask you something?" I said. "Anything," she replied with that same easy smile. I slid the file toward her. No words, just paper. I watched her face shift, first confusion, then resignation. "How long have you known?" she whispered. "Long enough." Her hands shook as she reached for the folder. I pulled it back. "You'll leave quietly," I said. "Tonight." Tears filled her eyes, perfect, convincing, meaningless. "I love you." "No," I said calmly. "You were assigned to." Her expression hardened. The tears vanished. She was calculating again, assessing exits, options. I gave her none. Her phone buzzed on the counter. Unknown number. She flinched. "I already called them," I said. "They're coming for you, not me." For the first time, she looked afraid. "You don't understand what you've done," she murmured. I understand exactly. I told her. You taught me. By dawn, she was gone. No note, no goodbye. Only the faint scent of her perfume lingering in the sheets, like the ghost of a life that never really existed. My father called as the first light crept through the window. It's over, he said. No, I answered quietly. It's just the part where I stopped pretending. He paused and said, You did what you had to. I hung up. My son stirred beside me, still dreaming, untouched by the truth. Outside, the sky was pale and cold. I watched it crawl across the glass and thought, paranoia doesn't keep you alive. It just keeps you awake.